part of the CPP, there will be a primary in Grand Bassa County, and then maybe you could be favored by the people, and then the path will be a little easier for you. Do you feel that way?
Well, again, like I said, we are having different discussions. We are a full political party. We have different things on the table. We're looking at different opportunities. So I don't think because we are not part of the CPP, it doesn't make us to be relevant. The people of Liberia are starting to see the truth, starting to see how things are not changing because of the decisions they make in the past and even in the present. So we believe that for me, I'm not part of the CPP, but there are characters in the CPP that I believe that will infect whatever plans of actions they have. I believe that they should have do some internal work. They should lobby it. We are lobbying with other political parties to see how we can form coalitions. If the time comes, if there's anything that will be work up with the CPP, we would like to publicly know, but I do not have any idea of that. Now I'm now informed about any coalition with the CPP. And I don't think we're missing anything. There's no opportunity we're missing because there are still character within the CPP that are involved into alleged corruptions that have done so many different things and masquerading with impunity that I believe that the CPP cannot be strong with the involvement of those people.
Well, usually nowadays, most Liberians, especially those who are at the legislative body of government, uh, are trying to pay a little attention to decentralization, that the services should be decentralized and let us go away from this usual way of doing it. Where are you on that?
Yeah, I think it's something that we should look into. Even other countries are doing it. Neighboring countries are doing that right now. Like Ivory Coast, Sierra Leone, they are decentralizing their services. Liberia is doing it, but not at a larger scale. Because now in Grand Bassa County, if you want to do some documentation registration with the LRA, they do have an office in Bassa. If you want to do registration of your vehicle, the transport ministry do have an office. But like you said, I think they should do it at a larger scale. I don't know whether they are in Maryland County. I don't know whether they are in Sino, whether they are in the rural parts, of Liberia. Again, it's all bound down to innovations. When we have the right leaders in place, they're going to start thinking about the future. Farsightedness going to come in, and then things will be placed in the right perspective.
Before I bring in my caller, Jimmy Eastman, I have this question for you. Stay on the decentralization. One of the things that people are suggesting or recommending is the election of mayors and superintendents. Should you be elected, will you make your voice louder enough on that, and why?
Well, like I said, I'm a man of principle. I have records to show that I have called on the national government, the legislatures. I wrote an article on that superintendents and majors should be elected because I believe that they work for the people. You cannot have the president appointing a superintendent in Grand Bassa County or in Lofa or in Maryland, and because he or she is answerable to the president, so I see conflict of interest. So I'm hoping that those are some of the things we're going to push for when I enter the Senate. I'm going to lobby because you need a number of 16 now. Remember now, the 16 counties, that what
Right.
you have to have that lobbying power. We're going to lobby with our colleagues to see how we can look into it because it's completely out of bound. It doesn't sound right. You cannot have a superintendent working for the president. He's supposed to be working for the people. So it doesn't sound good to me. I'm going to lobby against that.
All right, let me bring in my caller here quickly. Um, Mr. Eastman, welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Hey, Anthony.
Yeah,
How you doing? How you doing?
I'm doing well.
And Emmanuel, Mrs. Daykeay, I'm glad to see you on the program. Thank you
He's
for
Thank you, sir.
he's actually Daykeay.
providing this time. Daykeay.
Daykeay, yeah.
Okay, here, my man, you almost stole my thunder, man. the question you just asked. You know, the whole idea, you know, a lawmaker, a senator is a lawmaker. So one would think people with enhanced knowledge of the law, like a lawyer, will be the right type of candidates for there. But here's what really surprised me of all things is people who advocating to go in the Senate say they would bring development to their respective districts and counties. That is not the role of a lawmaker, okay? And just what you were saying, Anthony, that is the reason why you want mayors and superintendents elected, because they can be principally responsible to develop their counties. Okay, they will have to be fully dedicated. They will be able to bring in the resources if there's the autonomy created, and they can do it. But a senator, a representative say, "Oh, I will bring development to my county." I think it's a misguided concept because you are limited to only what you do, making laws, sitting on committees, and national events. What time do you have to study the economics of your county and the economics of your people, and be able to bring about the type of development you want when your job is principally to be in Monrovia there at the Parliament, at the Capitol building? I don't understand how we can think we can do that, you know. So I'm asking your guest.
Yes.
Does he think he will be able to effectively do those things he said because he's a senator? Does he not have the capacity to do it better now? What makes him think that being a senator will enhance that capacity that he's advocating to contest on this November?
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a wonderful question, and it's good. Now, he struck a very great point that I'm hoping that I will come on this show so that we can look into it. Because, for instance, the type of government we have now in Liberia,
right,
is an issue right now. That will be a discussion for another day.
Okay.
Because I do believe in proposing that we should have a federal form of government where every county will be responsible for their resources. For instance, Grand Bassa County is one of the counties that contributing one of the highest amount in the government revenue. What are they receiving? Okay, it's less, and they don't even receive it. Just recently, before the county received $1 million, $328. And on the record, on the budget, Grand Bassa County should be receiving $2 million. Do you want to believe with me that Grand Bassa County, the port alone, can raise more than $2 million a year? Do you want to believe with me that alongside with me that Metal Steel that using the port in Buchanan and our offices in Bassa, it's raising trillions and billions of dollars and giving government so much, and the government is just giving a new portion to Grand Bassa County? It's because of the kind of form of government we have in place. But if we have a federal form of government where the president, the national government takes care of their own share of cake, like what we do here in the States, and then the county take care of their own issues, for instance, road development, for instance, different development, then you're going to say you do not need the legislators to be part. But right now, the legislators, they are looked at as the people who can lobby and bring things, into the county.
Yeah.
That's what's happening now. Now, how can we change that? I do agree with the caller that as a senator and as a representative, you should be concentrating on making laws and lobbying. But it doesn't stop you from also going out to raise funds for your constituents. You have to also raise funds. You also have to get on the part of other lobbying alongside with other lawmakers and tell the little gentlemen, we need to empower our superintendent. The first way to go about it, if we cannot change the form of government, let's take out the superintendent being appointed by the president so that they can work, for the people and by the people. If they do not do what is right, then the new person can be elected. Then we want to have some little change. Then the representative and the senators will have some relaxation. This is why I said I'm going to lobby so that the superintendent should not be appointed by the president, so I can be able to have some level of relaxation. But other than that, we still remain at a pace where the representatives and the senators are the one who's supposed to provide jobs for the citizen. Is it right? No. But this is where we are with the form of government we have right now. We have to make
two things here. One, rape. Grand Bassa County, your county, Mr. Daykeay, is, I would say, one of the most intense of victims. What will a Senator Emmanuel Daykeay legislate to hold rapists accountable to minimize this particular act? That's one. Two, you were talking about electing the county officials and trying to make the counties to operate, more autonomous. Will I see a legislation from you? Should you be elected as senator?
Well, let me answer your questions in sequence. When it comes to rape, right now we have a law on the book in Liberia.
Okay.
And I followed that extensively, and it's good. The only part I will want to add on it is that those who rape, they should face the death penalty.
Wow.
I know that because of the unions we form part of as a country, death penalty is now leaving, the scene where people not being hanged to death when, but there are some states who still doing it in America. But I do believe that people who rape a 4-year-old child, 10 months old babies, why should they be given the opportunity to live? Because that child you're destroying will be the next president of Liberia. So I'm strongly against rape. I'm looking forward to reviewing that law substantively, even though I have seen it. It's very good to see how we can make additions if there will be a need for us to make amendment, so it can serve as a serious deterrent to future perpetrator. I will do that.
Before you go to the next question, to answer it, this rape, death penalty you're calling for, I personally feel that is harsh. What your response?
It is harsh, but then maybe we can. There are two things. Option A is death penalty. Option 2 is with parole. Then that person should stay behind bar and not be allowed to parole. Okay, that could be the two options I can hold based on my culture. Because remember now, as a lawmaker, I'm consciously deciding for my people. It is not about me. Even if any of my relatives are involved into rape, they should bear the consequences of their actions. Because the kid, that child that involved, that child's future will be wasted. And we cannot allow that. This is why it's getting serious in Liberia. We hear over the news that many children are being raped. And I support the female. Let me say that here. I support that female participation in government. Those who are competent. And I believe that we should promote them. Remember, because they were in the minority. It's just recently that we see female now, stepping up, and wanting government position. But I do not support the ones who are not competent. Even though you are qualified, but you're not competent. So we're hoping that more competent female will come out, in a whole government position, so that these things can be pushed forward. So definitely you're going to receive something for me with regards to that whole rape issue. I'm strongly against that. Now, your next question. With regards to the superintendent, yes, I've already started working on something. I've done some research on that. I'm going to start from a lower scale.
Okay.
That is to change the government, the local government, to be in an autonomous form is a process. But we can start from a lower case. That is, the superintendent should be elected.
Okay.
Now, when the superintendent, being elected by the people, you're going to notice that many things going to start, being autonomous, where the superintendent will say, well, I'm not answerable to the president, like how I'm going to be right after this election, I'm going to be answerable to my constituents and not to the president of Liberia. I'm looking forward to having a healthy friendship and relationship with the national government, with the president, because they are the executive, but I also have to look after my people. So I'm going to start from a lower case. You're going to a lower scale. I mean, you're going to I'm going to lobby it and put out a bill for that the superintendent in different counties should be elected, and then gradually we're going to go on to the autonomous form.
All right. Let me bring Jimmy Isma in again. Jimmy, are you still with us?
Yes, yes. And I have a question for our guest today. All right.
Okay.
Everyone agrees that rape is one of the most heinous and deprecating crime committed against women and children and people in general. But when we offer the solution as the death penalty, does he think now that you have the death penalty, when somebody rapes a woman, will he let her survive? Because if the man knows if he gets caught and will be killed, he may kill the victim. We may see more murders and rapes because of that. That is one of the arguments against death penalty for rape. Also, when you do that, you are also setting, saying that when a victim of rape is the worst thing that they can happen to them. And we're also going to start stigmatizing women in a way that, they think that this thing will affect their lives. So with all that, have you examined all the cons against death penalty for such a crime like this? And would it not be better to put stringent police measures in place? Some people will not even come forward when you have a death penalty, because if a lot of these rapes, they are connected to relatives, uncles, cousins. They stay with people. So now when the child or the person knows that this person will receive the death penalty, they'll be discouraged to bring it forward.
Right.
So that is some of the counter arguments for the death penalty for rape. What does our guest tonight think about that?
Mr. Daykeay?
Yes, thank you so much. It's a very critical issue when it comes to the discussion of rape. And like I said, I have two options that are available. I'm not going to take out the death penalty until I'm fully convinced. I'm going to go and do more in-depth studies, but I do believe that people who damage other people, they shouldn't be given the opportunity to survive, because that person you're damaging, from my religious background, I believe that person should have been given the opportunity. Again, option B is being behind that with parole. So those are the two options that I have. Again, you need a number of 16. Like I always say, the Senate is a number of 16. You have 16 counties. We have to come together. We got to vote upon this. We have to agree. I'm not sure if my 2 points I'm going to be offering is going to, be voted upon.
Right.
Others going to bring in other things, and that's why we call it the cost of lobbying, where you're going to sit down, you have to lobby and tell people, convince them. And this is why we need people in the Senate like us, where we can sit down and we can have this discussion. But indeed, I'm going to put up something. I'm going to make sure I can review what they have on the book, and I have those two options that I'm pushing for. And I think we need to do that to serve as a deterrent. So to our caller again, I understand that relatives are involved. The perpetrators, they are going to be involved in the murdering. They are victims. But again, here is in America, nobody should tell you that you shouldn't rape. You know that when you rape here, you know what happened to you in America. Yeah. Because the law here is on the book. It's sincere. It's actual. You know it. So if you see a little child, you stay away. Nobody's going to advise you.
You may not even get a job. How are you going to live? You know?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
That record you may not get a job.
Right. So we cannot keep saying, this is and so before you come in, this issue of sympathy and emotions, we need to get rid of them when we want to run a country that will stand for the betterment of us and our generation to come.
Right.
There will always be perpetrators of murders. There will always be different crimes that will be committed. This is why we have to strengthen our judicial system to make sure we have DNA testing to investigate you. It takes years. You remember, right? Even here in America, when you murder somebody or you commit a crime, it takes years. So we want to make sure we can check those facts. We check the DNA testing, make sure that all of those things are put into place. And we make sure that this man is guilty, because you are not called a murderer or a rapist until what? You are convicted by a court of competent jurisdiction. So we need to strengthen our judicial system.
All right, folks, you are watching Focus on Liberia Spotlight. I'm Anthony C. hosting. Our guest is Senatorial Aspirant Emmanuel Dyujay Daykeay for Grand Bassa County, and we are having a conversation with him on his Senate run and some issues of concern. Let me read some comments, and I'll come back to you, Mr. Daykeay. And my last question to you will be, what is your sustainability plan for Vision College? Please pull that together while I read some comments here. Jimmy Eastman, stay with me. Let me read some comments here. This one is from Mark Freeman. Focus on Liberia, only talk on politics. Mark Freeman, you continue to say this over and over. The other time I send you videos of different topics we have discussed here. Focus on Liberia, you continue to say the same thing. Focus on Liberia is the only platform that discusses politics less than any other platform that's out there. Mark Freeman again, he writes the one, why ever Liberian want to work? I don't know what he's saying. I think why every Liberian, he meant to say, why every Liberian want to work in government? Because it is their right. And you have a good question there. Bopu Queen is saying Emmanuel is a hustler. Oh, Bopu Queen again. Oh no, I can't read this one. These kind of words are unacceptable to describe our guests. You have to be very respectful to our guests and not use these words. Because working in government is a way to serve your people. At least that should be the reason. But I do not think these lords are in it to serve. He's saying that most of these people are not in it to serve. Patricia Kimba Kekula, Daykeay, I believe you will support any bill for death penalty. Yeah, Daykeay said it right here. Let me come to you, Eastman. What's your thought? We just listened to the reading of comments and what Emmanuel said earlier.
Yeah, okay. Like I said, there are reasons why the death penalty may not be the solution. First, it may discourage people from coming forward. Also, it may the perpetrators may actually kill their victims to hide from the death penalty. And those were the things against it. But I have one more question for our guest, Mr. Daykeay. The Senate has been a place where we do not see enough transparency. Until the Senator Darius Dillon went there, there were a lot of things being done, and we did that. We don't even know how the voting goes. We don't know how they got these fantastic salaries. What would you do, should you be elected, to provide more transparency in the Senate so that people will know and understand who votes for what and all the different things that go on? What would you do if you be elected?
Wonderful question. And so I don't know. You want me to come in now?
Oh yes, go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah, I don't know. I don't waste time on that because that's a great question, and thanks to our guest. He's asking interesting and educated questions.
Right.
Well, let me start at this. Senator Dillon, even though he's in another party, But this is someone that he's a family to me, We work together. Both of us, we started up our career on my late uncle, the late Councillor Teofilo Gu at the Ministry of Justice. Senator Dillon knows me very well, and I know him very well. I believe in his ideology at some point, even though we have difference in based on our different areas where we are. So I can tell you that in the House of Senate, I'm going to be different. What separates me from others is that if you look at where I work in Liberia, at the Association of Liberia University, where I was director for all of the universities and colleges in the country, I need you to check my records there. I am not involved into a single corruption. I spoke against corruption. I just hit people who take things that belong to 100 and more people. I don't like it. I'll give you another instance. At the Grand Bassa Community College, the board, I'm still a board member because since this government was elected, they have not dissolved the board, but we don't receive any communication. We don't know how it's running anyway. But however, if you go there, the records are there, the minutes are there. You will see many times I spoke against corruption. Not a single person can put their hands on and say Daykeay was involved in the corrupt practices at the Grand Bassa Community College board level. There was an incident that certain money came from the African Union. I won't give you details. And some people were suggesting that the money should be divided among the board members. I said no. And there are many other things. And they used to say, "Well, I'm a small board, I'm excited, and all this kind of thing." I don't entertain corruptions because I have a future to protect. I told you before, Ansel, I have a future to protect, and I have to do better. I have to do more so that the people will see. And believe me, people you spoke to today, they have not seen me physically, but they believe in my ideology. This is what we call the future, where people have not seen you, but they believe in your work. And I want to show the people in Grand Bassa County, take me as your senator. You will see the difference. After a year, I will call my people so they can evaluate me, so they can tell me whether I should still be their senator or I shouldn't be. You see, this is the kind of Grand Bassa County I want to see in the next 5 years. We are gradually getting there. The election is getting tough. This is one of the toughest elections you're going to see this year. And no, it's going to get more tougher as time goes by because the competition is coming into the business. So I want to tell the people of Bassa that this is your own son. Fully prepared. He has obligated himself to you. Repose your confidence in me so that we can make Grand Bassa County to what it was. And so I'm telling you, when I was a kid in Bassa, Grand Bassa County was a metropolitan city. When those guys come with a ship from everywhere around the world and they dug down in Bassa, people used to come from America and other parts of the world to vacation in Grand Bassa County. This is the kind of Bassa we want to create for our people.
Thank you. And before Jimmy
yes,
can come in, Jimmy,
one more.
go ahead, Jimmy.
Yes,
go
you
ahead,
can hear
Jimmy.
me?
Yeah, go ahead, Jimmy.
Okay, and very good. At least you give us an idea of what your nature, that you're against corruption, but you didn't say specifically how you will bring transparency to the House and the Senate. But I have an additional question in respect to that. We have 9 years. I think there's 9. The tenure is 9 years for a president, a senator, and 6 years for a president, and I believe it's 6 years for a representative. Do you think that is a lot of time? And do you think that senators and representatives will be accountable to people with that length of time, or would you suggest or bring up a bill to reduce the tenure of those representatives?
Well, thank you. Well, let me start with this whole transparency issue. What I intend to do, first of all, the first year of my election is to conduct audits, lobby with other offices in local offices in the county to see how we can have a thorough independent audit so that the people in Grand Bassa County can know in the past 10 years what has been coming into the county and what have been expended. So that is something that I'm going to use as a rubric. So after we have gotten to understand that, let's say for instance, 5 million came to Grand Bassa County in 10 years, and out of the 5 million, 4 million were used, and these were the things it were used for. Though I'm not going to guarantee you that people won't be held accountable. That will be left with the people of Grand Bassa County. But I'm going to stand for an audit before I can even take an office. An audit has to be conducted so the people of Bassa can know what happened in the past before we can go into the present. With the second question, whether with the tenure of a senator or a representative of a president, that is something I have been looking at terribly. With the Senate, I think it's so much. Nobody should spend 9 years in the Senate. How can you embrace competition if you spend 9 years in the office? Someone that is 70 years old, someone that is 60 years old, you're giving an opportunity to stay in the Senate for 9 years. How sure are you that person won't have dementia or Alzheimer? I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. How can that person make a sound decision, at that age? Because some people deteriorate at certain levels. And I leave that with the doctors.
Mr. Daykeay, scientifically speaking, that is a possibility, but that doesn't happen to everybody. So why do you think you need to say that? You will get old too, though.
Now, oh yeah, I will get old. I'm leading there. I'm trying to tell you that we, the younger people, we need to stand up now, right, and start to exhibit sound leadership. Because the older folks feel that they are the ones who cleave to power. And this is something that I'm going to go against. I want to tell our caller, Jimmy, I'm going to go against that. There shouldn't be a 9 years for senator. I will stand for 6 years. I will stand for 4 years for the representatives. And I believe that in 6 years, if you were supposed to help and make laws, and lobby on behalf of your county, 6 years is enough. If you cannot do that, I think the constituency should decide your fate.
All right. Before we continue, I have something to read for you and Jimmy. It is more like a poem, and it's written by Dyujay sometime like 10 years ago. And it's about we Liberians. Most of the time we say, oh, I'm going home, I'm going to make sacrifice. I left my fat-paying job in the US, I'm here. And so he heard that so many times and he wrote this. The thing people can talk about sacrifice. He's trying to be a little more sarcastic here. It can fool my mouth and make me laugh. Everybody going back to work in Liberia claim they made sacrifices to leave America. Left good paying job, good things, good this and good that. I don't want to laugh, yeah. In Liberia, less work, plenty money, plenty. Take home pay reaches home in full and more. You get houseboy, house girl, driver, cook. They call you bossman, boss lily. You can't even brush your own teeth. The laws, when available, sometimes bow. And you guys know that. Here in America, 8 hours, that's it. You take it, you pay. Straight talk. Your paycheck alone, your man, your pa. You get what? Your time to call your papa. Sir, driver, cook, errand boy, what side, no reserve parking, seat, lane. And who says you can beat anybody? When they say no, that A. No rules, no role assignment. that 50-50, everyone busy, sleeping or working. You can't even talk talk long. One time, daytime meetings. You can't keep the air cool on for long. The heat bills are killing, whether gas or oil. So it makes plenty sense to skip it all. Haha, straight jacket, door e door, government that elephant me, yeah. Pay your mortgage from Liberia, file your taxes in America, call that sacrifice in whatever way you want, and I will still be laughing. Ha ha ha. Your homie, high paid job, sacrifice my foot. So what the Neja were trying to say here in this sarcastic, cleverly written point, people here say, oh, I leave my job, I'm going to, in my high paying job, I'm going to Liberia just to sacrifice. And he's comparing life in Liberia and here. In Liberia, they call you boss man, they call you boss lady. You have a horse boy, you have a horse girl, somebody cutting your grass. Here in America, even in Liberia, your parking lane, all right, you have a special place that you are parked. No one can go there. But here, no one have a special parking for the most part. Even the laws down there, the police, everybody back. That is honorable man. So he's saying when people say I'm leaving my good paying job here to go back to Liberia, it's in the name of sacrifice, he say, I beg you. That is not true. The reason we're reading this point here it doesn't mean I apply to everybody. But the question is that the case with Daykeay here? Yeah?
You asked our
Yes.
guest, or
Is that the case here? Are you trying to say you're about to leave your good paying job here to go to Grand Bassa, to sacrifice? Is that why it is?
first of all, answer that I love the point. It's so good. As you're reading it, I was just, imagining how wonderful it is. However, I'm already in Grand Bassa County.
Okay.
You're following my projects that unfolding in the county. So whether as a senator or not, I still have things going on in Bassa. Okay, I have a school system, and in the next 5 years, my schools will be in all the districts in Bassa. So what we're doing now, we're building schools, private schools. The next thing that we're going to be doing is to be involved in a private clinic. My brother, do I need to be in government to get money? No. Besides that, I'm a writer. I write a lot of books and I receive royalties for life on Amazon, for other platforms. It comes to me every month. There are other means. I provide consultancy to the University of Rwanda. I don't have to be in America to do that. I can be in Liberia. I was in Liberia. I sit down lecturing online. So there are many ways that you get money. You don't have. Look, I was so shocked that Minister Finney, let me use him, because he had an interview. He said he makes $5,000. He said his salary, his take-home pay is $5,000. My brother, can you imagine that? I'm not talking about other sidekicks now. I mean, if what he carry home, if he show that it's $5,000, then tell me, who's going home to earn $5,000 to be a minister? So, for my opinion and for what I take, I do believe that I'm sacrificing a lot. Right now, I've invested over $150,000 in Grand Bassa County. We're hoping to protect the business. We're hoping to increase the business that we're going to serve our people. We will involve our county. In order to do that, we need that confidence, because the people who are in power now, most of them do not support development. So they go against development. Do you know how long they've been fighting the Vision College? It's been over 2 years. Do you think if I was a senator right now, you don't think we have gotten everything we want as an institution? The people of Bassa have a training center. The people of Bassa involved in agriculture. The people of Bassa involved in the rural connectivity. I'm doing all of this outside of government. That's what I said. Before I can take the Senate seat, let the people of Bassa get to know what I have. And when I'm leaving, so they can also evaluate me based on what I'm leaving with. So I'm going in there with complete neutrality, with transparency. And I believe that this is the time that a new breed of leader serve the Bassa Senate.
All right, thank you. We have a caller here, Jimin. Let me bring this caller in. Caller with phone number starting with 612 and ending 7486. Quickly to the issue.
Yeah, thank you. First, I want to tell my senior brother, thank you. His thought really inspired me a lot. I wish we could have more Liberians that knowledgeable, want to be the leader of our country, not like the current criminal leader we have, like the national regulator. And my my question to my senior brother is relating to some of our lawmakers. They say quote unquote they cut down salary. They said they cut in their salary, but in their salary they make it almost like humanitarian gesture. What other people doing? They create extra account. They control that account. My question to him: when if he is God helping, he is opportune and is elected, will he be willing to cut down his salary, or like cut it and send it to a national government, like go back to the central bank and motivate more people to do the same? Not like the way Senator Dillon did, like the way I can say almost all everybody doing the same, like beating him, going around, instead of cutting down my salary.
Yeah, also, can I address that, please?
Yeah, please do that.
Yeah. First of all, I said that I'm going to take a pay cut. And there's a difference between because being a financial person, the difference between pay cut and pay settlement. Okay, and I would not want to give the kind of situations or scenario that Senator Dillon is using. I am saying I'm going to settle for a pay cut. So that is, I'm going to communicate with the Ministry of Finance. The only paycheck they should send me is $3,000. The bulk of my money stays into the revenue, but it goes to my county into an escrow account. It doesn't come to me. So the Ministry of Finance have to disburse that form to the developmental team that we will set up by me to initiate that development. I don't want to be part of that developmental council. I only want to be an ex officio so that just in case we can be able to see what is going on. But the only money that I want is $3,000, and that money will be my paycheck that comes directly from the government. So that is a pay cut. It's not a pay settlement.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, we have to close it here. We have 15 minutes past our time. Jimmy, what is the last thing you want to close us with?
Okay, I really admire our guest today on one principal thing that he's already invested in the education of our people.
Right.
I only have concern that he knowing that education is so key. We don't have what we call a thriving private sector. Our private sector is dominated by foreigners, foreign nationals. Liberian businesses are not very common, or at least at a high level. One of the only thing that would encourage our gross national product to develop, in other words, the only way we would build revenue is we do more private sector investment and we use our natural resources, take it through different stages of production so that we can get more revenue from it instead of selling raw materials. So with an industrial person like our guest here, he's already proven how industrious he is. He's already into why would he not try to develop that private sector and instead go in government? But I really appreciate a lot of things he said on the show today, and I'll take my exit here.
Thank you, Jimmy. Jimmy Eastman is an affiliate here at Focus on Liberia. Mr. Daykeay,
Yes, sir.
you want to respond to that?
Yeah, actually, I really enjoyed Jimmy, man. His question is educative and logical and reason, is relevant to the program.
Right.
Uh, now, he said,
Mm-hmm.
you see, I'm kind of different from everyone participating in this election because I already got my boots on the ground.
Your boots are
Whether you
wet.
said,
Your boots not only on the ground, they are also wet.
they are wet, is what I'm saying. So whether you elect me as a senator or not, I remain a stakeholder in Bassa.
Right.
You see, that's why many of the youth start to understand now that Grand Bassa County got someone that you cannot overlook. You see, many of the politicians don't come on radio or other thing to criticize me. They don't talk about me
Mm-hmm.
because they know. They know when I tell you that we are not going to carry you, we're not going to carry you. When we say we will support you, we will support you because in the next 5 years from now, the entire young population in Grand Bassa County will say Daykeay is the one. And we're going to invest. We will invest in Grand Bassa County. But let me remind you, the last time I appeared on your show, we talked about uh, diversity
Mm-hmm.
in terms of development in Grand Bassa. I don't know if you remember.
I
And
remember
how
that.
we want to
You talk
use the
about
vision.
you talk about farming, rice production, and other things. Yeah, I remember that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a very consistent person.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to always follow my records. Now, some callers were against why we said that certain districts should produce certain things.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why we intend to do that is because, there is something called Liberianization policy.
Mm-hmm.
We are deviating from that. If you go to Ghana, my brother, you will never find a foreigner selling fufu in Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
The people who sell fufu are the typical Ghanaians. But if you go to Liberia, even a store to see a foreigner, I'm not against foreigner. I'm not against, I'm a foreigner in another country, So they can have opportunity to go to Liberia, but there should be at some extent. How can you have a foreigner selling pepper? How can you have a foreigner changing money? How can you have a foreigner have a store and at a retail level? If a foreigner want to invest, let them do wholesale. Let the Liberians be given the opportunity to do retail sales.
Yeah.
Okay, if you have that money to do investment, come on board. But you can do wholesale, and that is something we can discuss at our county level. This is why we say we're going to push for the superintendent to be elected. So when we're sitting on the table with him or her and telling her this is what we think the kind of Grand Bassa County we want in 5 or 10 years. Now you see, changes will come. We're going to empower our people. We're going to provide jobs for them. Agriculture will be a key. The healthcare sector will be prioritized. But we cannot do these things when the foreigners are the ones running the country. So we need to bring back liberalization policy that gave those to we, the Liberians, to do businesses, empower our people, give our loans. Those are some of the things I'm going to be doing. We're going to have a local bank in Grand Bassa County that people will come and take loan and pay at a lower percentage. Foreigners come and take loan and pay at a certain percentage, different for residents. So it's not only Bassa. Then once you live in Grand Bassa County for a certain length of time, you are considered resident and you can benefit from those kind of things. So these are the differences we bring it on the table.
All right, we have Joseph Dawala Hutchison. That's my brother.
Yes.
He's the right man for the job. Gaka Mowe, the beauty of freedom and opportunity, the same opportunity the U.S. provides. He's saying to us that's why UJ is doing, and so he's the guy for Grand Bassa County. We are at the end. I want you to close us with this. When are you getting on the ground? The heat is starting, Mr. Daykeay.
Well, thank you. The way
Speak
you
to the
said
Bassa
it.
people. When will they see their son there to start the ball rolling?
I like the charismatic approach you have to the question. Well, last week we called a general meeting for the entire 5 districts.
Yeah.
And we had over 200 to 300 persons that gathered and everybody was saying we are ready for our son. When is he coming?
Yeah.
You know, as a politician, I wouldn't state my actual date of travel here based on security, but I will be in Grand Bassa County very soon.
Very soon.
And I can show you that you're going to go live with it, because this time we're not going to be marching in Buchanan.
No.
We are going to assemble at the airport, the entire, RIA airport,
Right.
from the airport to the Farmington Hotel, and we'll be speaking to our people.
Okay.
Let the younger people understand that this is the time that Grand Bassa County be in the hands of a younger generation that fully prepared, because foreigners will not develop our county. Like I said, I'm not here today to criticize the incumbent, but I'm here today to tell her that she should step aside, because in 8 years' time, if you cannot rebuild our hospital, the hospital I was born at, the government hospital, what assurance do I have that you're going to change that hospital or work with the local government to change that place when I gave you 9 years? I do not have that assurance. What assurance do I have that you will build a vibrant education system, although you're there to love it and make laws? But what assurance that I have that you'll create unity among your friends in the Senate, that you'll create unity among your colleagues in the local government, that our county will be developed? I do not have that guarantee. This incumbent do not have that relationship with the national government that will allow her to do such things. And based on those facts, I feel that she should not be re-elected as a senator. However, I'm calling on the young people in Grand Bassa County, under the sound of my voice. Rice and material things will take you nowhere. What will carry you the longest and your children will benefit will be the future innovation and education. This is what I'm bringing on the table. Today, I'm sitting in a comfortable seat because I was given the opportunity. If Grand Bassa County can give me the opportunity, you got me on record with what I have said. No aspirant have said it. No aspirant is saying that they don't want to take home 15,000. Everybody wants going after that same 15,000. So who's going after wealth in Liberia? I already have properties in Liberia. I'm already developing my county. So whether you let me or not, I'm still going. So who's going after wealth? Is it me? People insult me on Facebook, and so I allow a lot of insult. I'm an educator. I'm not a politician. I'm only participating into politics. That's a big difference. And from the very day I declared my intention, I knew that people would insult me. So I advised my kids to stay away from Facebook. If you come on Facebook, do not attack other people. But people say so many things. People call me hustler. On your platform. You should have read that other people hear that. Some people don't even know me, but they say different things about me. But that's the beauty of democracy. And I love everybody, and I'm excited. I will soon be home in Grand Bassa County. Together, we will uplift our county. I'm calling all the aspirant, all the opposition. Let us come together. Let us work as a team and defeat the incumbent. This year election is very crucial to our survival in Grand Bassa County. Thank you, Ansu.
Thank you, Aspirant candidate to be Emmanuel Dyujay Daykeay, for honoring our invitation and answering the very tough questions that came your way. But this is what I learned from him, folks. He spoke to the youth directly in his closing. He said, "Rise will not call it. Material things will not call it." And so you should look up to him for empowerment. Or in other words, you should seek empowerment from anybody who comes to you asking for your vote. For him, he's walking the talk. Vision College, all the projects. He is trying to empower you. And he's asking for your vote because he said, "Look at me. The reason I'm sitting comfortably and I'm able to give back to you is because I got that empowerment through education." So why would you not want to give me your vote when I have the track record of empowering others, having been a living example of empowerment? I will walk the walk and not only talk the talk. This is what I have gathered from our guests. On that note, I want to say to you, thank you, Emmanuel, for honoring the call again. Focus on Liberia. Those of us who follow our broadcast, we want to say thank you. Those who watch the broadcast, if you have somebody in Grand Bassa County that you know, maybe you should tell that person Daykeay wants that vote and he will use it wisely. That is all I have for you. My name is Anthony C. Yeah, I focus on Liberia. We leave you with this song that says we are all Liberians. We are all one. Even in Grand Bassa County, we are all Liberians and we are all one. That is what Dyujay is saying to you. Bye-bye, folks.
We are Liberians. Liberia is our home. Liberian people.
DJ House of Pain. Yes, I like this one. Him alright, yes, him alright.
Our children, they are future leaders. Our children, they are future leaders. Remember, our children, they are future leaders. When we get where no more, they will do what tomorrow. Remember, our children, they are future leaders. Our women, they are our father. They are our father, they are our father in progress. Immorality, no right. Immorality, no right. Baba, you did children are immoral. Liberia is a real singer. Liberia is in Liberia. It's in Liberia. Killing plenty people. Don't take it for you. No matter if you take you waste. Tell me, people, you get it. Liberia
One now win.
Àwọn ṣòro ní àfijọ́ nínú ọkọ̀ tomorrow. Wọ́n wí jẹ́ wẹ́ẹ́ lómo, lówe tí owó tomorrow.